Alright guys, welcome to another Lenovo Ideapad 5 game testing video on our Ryzen 4500U Vega 6, 512 gig SSD, 8 gigs of RAM. We're going to be at 1080p today, low and high settings, but we're also going to check out high with smooth shadows. It makes a huge difference in your frame rate. If you've played on PC, you already know that, I'm sure, from messing around with your settings, but if you haven't played this on PC, maybe you've played on console, maybe you're looking to maybe play this on the laptop, you'll definitely be able to do it no problem, but I would suggest staying away from the high smooth shadows unless you really want those. But we'll take a look at that here in just a minute. So we're going to start off the game in full screen 1080p and just high on everything, including those smooth shadows. Like I said, if you don't already know, it makes a big difference in your frame rate. We're not going to take any of those boxes on the bottom for this test. We're going to leave those alone. We're not going to turn on low FX, and we're not going to go SSAO either. So I bring up MSI Afterburner. We're sitting here in the town. We are at those initial settings, the 1080p, high everything with smooth shadows, and we came in at about 45, which I was even surprised having the graphics set that way at 1080p. I was actually surprised. I know this game's not necessarily that hard for it to run, but it's really better than it looked or ran on any of my consoles. I've pretty much played this game everywhere that it's been released. So I'll show you when I did all the skills there. We went down to what, about 40 FPS, and then we came back up to 45, 48. So not bad. You can see the 100% usage on the Vega 6. That's basically to be expected. There's no CPU bottleneck at all with this 4000 series, the 4500U or 47, 48, whatever. They have a lot of power for these laptops. These things have been fantastic. The 4500U, if you don't already know, scores somewhere around a Ryzen 5 2600 desktop CPU, and that's pretty darn good. So let's go ahead and change this real quick. I just want to show you. We'll go to all low, which is also going to turn off those smooth shadows, because I'm just going to go straight for low, and you will see you'll see what the difference is. And I'll show you high without smooth shadows in a little while too, and you'll be very surprised. You can get a high frame rate with that as well. So I didn't do a lot of editing here. I wanted you to go through the process with me on this game and see the differences just as we go through and play a little bit. Now, of course, depending on where you're at, what act you're in, what area of the map, are you inside, outside, you know, whatever the case may be, the game's going to run differently. The frame rates can vary, but this is still going to give you a nice baseline, a nice idea of how Diablo 3 or maybe a similar game will run on the 4500U. So here we are. Let's go in Stinging Winds. We'll just go around and we'll just kill some stuff, and we'll change the settings a little bit. Remember, we are on 1080p low still right now, and we're doing a nice 80 in the mid 80 on our FPS. So even when we get busy here, you're going to see it go down and come back up, but that is pretty solid, and there's no stutters. No stutters in the game whatsoever. Very smooth. No matter what setting I was playing this out on the laptop, it was very smooth. And that's been the case with basically every game I've tested. Even Red Dead Redemption 2 at 30 FPS, all low settings, is a smooth experience on this laptop, and that was surprising. So we're even hitting 90 FPS right there, 91, without much going on, without rendering too much. And like I said, I know it's not like the game's super hard to run, but man, when this first launched, I forget what I was running. I can't remember, but it didn't run this well. I think, you know, the CPU also is just a real powerhouse this time around with AMD. Really looking forward to the 4000 series in the fall for desktop. I want to test those out. So let's jump into settings here, and we're going to make a change. We're going to go ahead and go from low to high, but we're going to leave those smooth shadows off. So I want you to see what the difference is here. So we'll just go back and put everything back to high, except we're not going to add the smooth shadows in like we had in town at the beginning. And now what you'll see that's surprising is you can still get almost the same frame rate at 1080p, whether it's high or low, sitting still here, it didn't make a huge difference. What I'm going to do is go in and show you. Let's put those smooth shadows on, and we'll instantly go down into the 50s. We were at 45 in town, if you'll remember. So switch this back to high, get rid of those smooth shadows, and we should go right back up to 76. So there you go. So really, if you want to rock all high, forget about the smooth shadows, 1080p. I mean, really good experience. That's again, that's why I didn't do 720p. I know some of you guys want to see the 720p, and I will add that in when necessary. But to me, if you can play a game like this, you know, it's not like CSGO or something, or Duty. If you can play a game like this at this high of a frame rate, at the crisper 1080p, and looking nice, then definitely do that. I mean, I played it at 720p, and honestly, it doesn't do it justice. It just doesn't look that good, and it just didn't feel necessary. So let's go in here and we'll do just a little bit. I want to finish up the video by just going back to our original settings, throwing those smooth shadows back in, taxes the system a little bit more, and we'll go down here and get some enemies to spawn up for us. But even at that, I mean, even at that, we're running close to 60. See what we dip down to here. 40s. That's like when we were in town. I mean, that's still well above the 30 that the Xbox 360 was doing for me before. I don't remember what Xbox One ran at, but it still seems better on this laptop. So, absolutely no complaints there.
Your defenses are nothing. I need arcane power.
Now, if you know, like I said, if you really wanted to push it and get to that over 100 FPS, I mean, you could do it. You could definitely do it if you wanted to go 720p, rock the low settings. I mean, you could definitely pull off Diablo 3 at probably 90 to 120 frames. I didn't use MSI Afterburner when I played at 720p. I should have checked it out just for the heck of it. But yeah, you could definitely go high. But there again, 1080p just looks so much better and runs really well. So I hope this gave you an idea how Diablo 3 will run on a Ryzen 4500U. Thanks for coming and check out the video. Subscribe if you haven't. Give this video a thumbs up. Ring the notification bell so you know when I drop new videos. Leave me your comment down below, and I will catch you in the next one.